In this video, you'll learn how to batch skip trace leads. Skip tracing is the process of locating people or records that are hard to find. Batch skip tracing will allow us to find a high volume of potential clients to create your next list of calls. In order to batch skip trace, you'll need to follow a specific series of steps, and some exact formatting will be required. While watching this video, you may want to take notes to refer back to when doing this process on the job. And of course, you can always come back and re-watch sections of this video to help you. Today, we will learn about this process using 3 distinct steps. First, we'll go through downloading the public records. Secondly, we'll look at how to clean and format the list of leads. And third, we will review how we save and submit the batch file for processing. So let's begin. To download the records, first we need to visit California's unclaimed property website. You can get there by typing in the URL ucpi.sco.ca.gov, or you can also access this site by doing a Google search using California unclaimed property. And then we can see the correct result pop up. I recommend bookmarking this website for future use. Once there, we'll press Download Records on the blue tab, and we'll scroll down until we can select Properties Reported at $500 and up. This will begin a large file download, and because it's so large, it may take several minutes to download fully.
Once it fully downloads, we'll double-click to open it. And this file will contain 3 different files. You are going to select file 3 of 3. This file will automatically open Microsoft Excel on your computer. And just like before, since this file is very large, it could take a few minutes for it to open and to load completely into your program. Once it's completely loaded, you'll notice that there are a ton of data that's imported into this field. So it's time for step 2.
It's time to clean up and format the list of leads. This is the longest step and requires extreme attention to detail, as the formatting in this step must be exact in order for our upload in step 3 to be successful. You may want to write down notes for yourself while you view this process, so that you can refer back to them when doing this step on the job.
To start cleaning, we're first going to use the data in column C. Column C is the cash reported column, and by clicking on the heading, you can see what the column title is. We need to find a range for $20,000 to $35,000. So I'm going to scroll down until I can get to that range. Once I've gotten to the range of $20,000 to $35,000, I'm going to select 500 rows within this range. When I click on the rows and start to drag, you can see below my cursor that it's telling me how many rows I'm selecting. Right here, it says I have 8 rows selected. So you're going to continue highlighting through this range until you've selected 500. However, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to select 20 rows in order to simplify the instructional process. Once I have my rows selected, I'm going to go ahead and right-click, copy, and I'm going to paste these data points into a new sheet. To add that new sheet, I click the plus button down here, and by right-clicking in this top corner and pasting, I can see that the rows and the data that I highlighted from the first sheet are now in this new sheet. Next, we will create the header row on this new sheet. Start by right-clicking on row 1 and inserting a blank row at the top. We are going to copy row 1 from our original sheet, and we'll paste this into the blank header column that we made on our new sheet.
As we clean up these leads, we will need some blank columns to work with. Insert 10 blank columns at the left side of the spreadsheet, so we will have blank columns in A through J. You can do this by right-clicking on column A and selecting Insert, and you can see that a new column appears and pushes the other data to the right. As we clean the leads, we will be using the owner name as our first reference point. Highlight the entire column, then cut and paste into column B. We can now see owners' names, last, first, and all in between, all in column B, and we want to separate those out. So highlight column B, choose Data, Text to Columns, check that Delimited is selected, and click Next. Here, we're going to uncheck Tab and check mark Space, click Next, check that General is selected, and Finish. You can now see that the last name remains in column B, while the other parts to the name have spread across our open field. Next, we want to go through this list and remove any leads that are not a person's name, such as companies, trusts, etc. So you can see that we can do this by right-clicking on the row number that you want to remove and selecting Delete. You're going to repeat this process for the entire list of 500 until only entries that are a person's name remain. We only need the last and first name, so you can clear the contents from any of the excess columns. We will now need to sort the remaining client's information into specific columns and label them properly. To complete this step, you'll be cutting and pasting information into proper columns and renaming the column with the proper heading. This picture shows you the headings that we will have at the end of this process. You may want to take a screenshot of this picture now so that you can see exactly how each heading should be labeled. Let's watch and see this process in action. Again, there's a lot of cutting and pasting into specific columns that's required during this step. So as we highlight client information and paste it, we then need to make sure that we're labeling each column with that proper heading. Again, we are going to be putting first name in column A, last name in column B, and as you continue to watch, you'll see the street address goes into column C, city goes in column D, state in column E, and zip in column F. Column G will be intentionally blank, and column H will have the property ID. Continue to watch as this step is carried out in the demonstration. The final step is to save and submit our cleaned list of leads so that it can be uploaded into the system for processing. This will help generate full contact information for our list of leads, such as phone numbers, email addresses, and more. To do this, we first need to get our cleaned up list of leads into its own Excel file. So we're going to click File, New, Blank Workbook, and we are going to need to copy and paste our data from our sheet to our new workbook file. From here, we are going to save in a particular format. So we'll click File, Save As, and you can choose where on your PC to save. Each file will use a similarly titled document. We're going to use cleaned batch list and then enter the date with a 2-digit month and 2-digit day. The file type is extremely important, so be sure to scroll down and choose the CSV/comma delimited *CSV file format. Then click Save. The last step is to email our file as an attachment to your manager. Your manager will upload the file for processing, and once it has been received, the final skip trace list will be sent back to you and uploaded into the dialer. When sending your manager the file, be sure to title the email with the file name in the subject line. Just write a short note and attach the correct file from your computer. Click Send, and you're on your way to receiving a new list of calls. Great! You have now learned how to download public records and format this data to be batch skip traced. Remember that you can always revisit sections of this video at any time while conducting this process on the job, as attention to detail and correct formatting is essential for this task. Batch skip tracing is the most efficient way to gather contact information so that you always have a robust and accurate list of leads to call. This is ultimately what will set us on the right path for growth and success.